Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today, guys, we're talking crypto news. There's a lot of things that have been going on in the crypto space, and I want to cherry pick out a handful of news articles that actually might be really interesting to you guys and your investments in cryptocurrency. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay, let's get into this crypto news today. We're going to start things off, guys, with this one here. Okay, so Dogecoin skyrockets 14% as Elon Musk confirms Doge integration to Twitter is close. Let's go ahead and dive into what is going on here. So Doge price soared following Elon Musk's recent tweet about Doge. So let's go ahead. Twitter's new owner, Musk, can easily influence the integration of Doge payments for Twitter products. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive down into this, right? A Doge integration is inevitable. So basically last week, Elon Musk agreed to a suggestion that the social media platform should compensate or provide financial rewards for its creators. Musk's latest tweet suggests that if Twitter starts monetizing creators' content, the meme-themed coin might be among the payment options for creators. Now, I'm not sure about you guys. I'm okay to spend Doge, right? If I've happened to have it, I'm going to spend it. But I'm not going to choose to be paid in Dogecoin above something else, right? So it's an interesting one. Now, integration is going to be good for crypto, essentially. But I do think this is potentially bad for Dogecoin holders, because unless you actually change the underlying foundation of Dogecoin to make it, it's not so shit, essentially, I don't see the point in wanting to hold it for too long. You're going to want to use it to pay. You want to get rid of it. So a couple of things that are going to happen here. Either Twitter is going to pay out in Dogecoin, right? And people who get it are automatically, instantaneously wanting to liquidate it, because the longer they hold it, potentially the worse off it's going to be. So I see this as an increased selling pressure for Dogecoin, not so much an increased buying pressure for Dogecoin. Therefore, price will go down, not up, right? And with that being said, obviously, Twitter would have to own Dogecoin. So is there going to be liquidity provided for such a mechanism? Are they looking to buy it and then transfer it straight away? Are they looking to buy a large amount of it, hold it? I don't know. That seems unlikely to me. But it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this one plays out. So integration is going to be good. I do think it's an inevitability, as it's kind of said here. Now that Musk has completed his takeover of the Twitter platform, it would be easy for him, or easier for him, to integrate Doge as a payment option for various Twitter products. So one such product is a Twitter verification tick. Recently, multiple reports said that Musk wants verified Twitter users and intends verified users to pay a certain fee. And I get that. It's actually, I think, probably good, but I want to understand more about the verification processes, right? Because at the moment, it's actually really difficult to get verified with a blue check mark unless you're going to be willing to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars. And there are services out there that actually offer this already. So a lot of those ticks that are currently out there, although the individuals behind the accounts are probably authentic and are real, essentially they were paid for, and that's the only way I can really see that kind of playing out. There are some very authentic ones out there, and there's a lot of really fake ones out there as well. And I'm hoping that the bot problem on Twitter also gets addressed as part of that verification process. So the question becomes, can you pay for your verification tick using Doge? Will Twitter be accepting Doge or only paying out in Doge? So these are the things that I think are going to be interesting to kind of see what goes on. If these rumors do or become true, it won't be surprising if Doge is one of the payment options users can use to pay for that particular service. So it's going to be interesting, right? Now, obviously, we say it's one of many different cryptocurrencies that could potentially be utilized for payments processes on Twitter, right? And we see this news articles recently about Cardano also being maybe a contender. Charles Hoskinson and Elon Musk have been, to and fro with tweets, over the last year or so. So there's potential there. There is. The Binance CEO explains the support for Musk's Twitter takeover. So those who didn't know, basically, CZ or ZZ, I don't know how you want to say that. The Binance CEO essentially is one of the supporters of Musk's Twitter takeover, and I think it was like 500 million he put up towards that. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how Binance works with Elon Musk and Twitter with crypto integrations. I think there's a lot of positivity here for the crypto space. The only downside is Doge, unless you're going to willing to rewrite the actual program and the underlying foundation, which I would hope that is something that Elon Musk does as a part of this. I would be very concerned over wanting to hold Dogecoin for too long of a period, personally. Now, it's okay in a bear market right now, but if you start increasing selling pressure, it's going to suppress price more than anything else. And specifically, if you're buying it in one day, then selling it in the very next day, you're going to see a lot more spikes all over the place. But liquidity is good, so increase in liquidity could also see an increase in price if the demand is there for Doge, as in you do not sell it straight away. So the hodl mentality would be key to this one. Let's move on, though. As terribly interesting as this is, we can move over into Shiba Inu, another meme coin or shitcoin, depending on how you want to look at it. A massive upgrade for Shiba, Eternity, basically, and 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, and obviously I'm probably pronouncing that really, really badly. Will SHIB explode to $1? I highly doubt it. But, I'm skeptical at best on these things, but that seems like a huge jump in price. In fact, should we entertain ourselves and actually come down into here and actually find out? Let's see where it is right now. Let's see. So let's bring it up here. We're currently at 0.00001 of a cent. So let's go ahead and humor ourselves just a little bit. We'll bring this up into our daily, okay? And we'll see, where is that dollar level? Where are you? Going to be up here somewhere, a bit too far. So there we go. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and grab hold of the current price. It's going to be at 299. Let's see if I can get that to... It's going to be close enough. And then we're going to move this up to $1, which would put it approximately here. I mean, leave it a little bit shorter than $1. Let's be optimistic. Okay, cool. So we are talking 7,637,217% in growth. Now, this is where we were before, okay, and this is where you're thinking that it's going to go. So, yeah, I don't think that's realistic in any way, shape, or form. Even underline massive upgrade could be fantastic. Let's see if this is a massive upgrade or not. Let's take a look, right? So the player guide came in at 110, but 1,100 pages with hundreds of hilarious cards, cutting edge artwork, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, nothing. Okay, so Shiba Army, there will be burns from the game period. Upcoming details will explain why Shiba entity is powerful, challenging, great for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 holders, and these things, can't believe it, once the blockchain version is released. The real question is, where will you be on downloading or downloading? I don't know. Nonsense nonetheless. No, I don't think $1. I mean, you're going to have to burn a serious amount. Let's go ahead and check the circulating supply at the moment. Let's go ahead, and I don't even have to type it in. God, man. Okay, let's get into some basics here then. Let's see. Everything's a little bit different on mobile. Let me maximize this screen up for a second. Yeah, so circulating supply sits in here at 549 billion. So 549 billion in circulating supply. Okay, so we're going to have to see significant decrease in that. I mean, even if you were to divide this by 100, you've still got 5 billion tokens, and that is going to be hard to push up to $1 in itself, right? There are some really legitimate projects that have about 5 billion in tokens, and they really struggle to push as high as that. So no, I don't think $1 is realistic. I don't think that's something that we should be expecting. Also, just note there's no maximum supply. So just like all these other kind of shitcoins out there, the supplies are far too high and that the demand is not going to chew through it. Okay, so these are key things that we have to understand, right? Basics. So no, I think this one I'm just going to park it. I don't think this is a big upgrade. I don't think it's massive, and I don't think Shiba Inu will go to $1. Let's move on. VeChain partners up with $1 trillion company to offer a new asset class for investors. Will VET price react? So one of the things that I'm noticing within a lot of these articles is they're all talking really bullishly at the moment. really trying to get people hyped up for some big moves in the space. And I think that's actually really, really dangerous. Normally, when the news is really, really bullish like this, you expect price to go down, not up. Talking about historic kind of news articles and the way that things have been pushed before. Understand that these particular kinds of platforms are owned by individuals or organizations that have a agenda behind them. Okay, so just bear these things in mind. Do I think the VET price is going to react? I mean, it depends. Yes, the price is going to react, but it won't react to a partnership of a $1 trillion company necessarily. But that's just me. So let's go ahead and take a look. So VeChain and 𝗕𝗪𝗪, a cross-border fintech hub, launched the first ever NFTs about inventory monetization transactions on Monday. So 𝗕𝗪𝗪 minted these NFTs using the VeChain 4 blockchain. The transaction worth 1.6 million euros will significantly boost the cash flow of the business using the 𝗕𝗪𝗪 platform. So essentially, things are looking pretty good for VeChain. The project is a lot stronger than it has been previously. But again, you end up with a very similar problem that you do have with some of these other projects. Nowhere near to the same degree as Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, but there are 88 billion VET tokens out there, right? So there's a lot of supply, which is why you see this one hovering around that 1 to 2 cent range at the moment. I think it's actually a little bit higher. We'll check it in a moment. But basically, VeChain here is definitely one that you want to be aware of. It is definitely leading in terms of the enterprise level blockchain. And fintech. They're partnered up with absolute behemoth companies in the world. These things are undisputable, but it doesn't really have an effect on price. Let's be brutally honest with you. The VeChain 4 blockchain itself is a dual token system, which means you have the V4, which is for gas. So that's your gas token that you pay for your fees. Okay, and then you've got VET, and VET is your currency of the blockchain. You don't need VET for transactions. Okay, you need V4 for transactions. So if you've got $1 million company that's partnered up with VeChain, that's fantastic. Okay, they might be incentivized to hold VET because when you stake VET, you earn V4, and you can use the V4 for transactions. But you don't have to think that you're going to use VET to pay for those transactions. So there's no need for everyday individual to think that they need to hold VET to pay for transactions like you do for Ethereum. So just be aware that yes, this is really, really, really good news for blockchain adoption globally. It doesn't necessarily mean that the VET price is going to react outside of speculation, okay? So really, really positive stuff for VeChain. I do think they're going to do incredibly well. It's one that's always in my list of top 10s to be watching out for. So definitely worth doing more research on VeChain if you haven't done so already. But let's move on. We have more. So breaking, first ever BSC to Cardano bridge is live. Starts of a bull run for Cardano ADA to $2 ? Well, this is the thing. I mean, we do a lot of technical analysis on the channel. We talk about this stuff all the time, but no, right? So it's great to have a bridge, right? This is good, right? Being able to bridge between the Binance Smart Chain and Cardano, this is and was always an inevitability, and it's good to see that it's finally live. And we've seen 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪 launch this bridge with a partnership with Chainpool, connecting the Binance Smart Chain and Cardano blockchains. Now, this does not just mean that they can pull over 𝗕𝗪𝗪 tokens, it means that you could probably pull over many, many different types that are on the Binance Smart Chain and on the Cardano chain. Okay, so there's probably some work that has to be done in places, but for the most part, this is a really big positive step for the Cardano ecosystem. But it's not the start of a bull run. Let's be honest with ourselves here. No, absolutely not. The data does not suggest this, okay? But I do think Cardano has a really, really bright future. And it's just a matter of case of being patient. If we're patient enough, we can get Cardano at those really low prices that Chris and myself did way back in 2020. Okay, so it's possible that you can do these things, but patience is going to be a virtue, and it is going to pay dividends if you're willing to wait. That being said, FOMO is really, really strong right now, and people are FOMOing in left, right, and center. And with a bridge like this is fantastic. It's good for Cardano, and I think it's going to be really, really good further forward. But I don't think that we're in a bull run for Cardano. I've spoken about this a half a dozen times, with Cardano really pushing forward on the NFT front, becoming the third largest platform for NFTs. And I think there's going to be so much growth here when it comes to Cardano. But I just think that actually we should be a little bit cautious when times like these are in. And it's probably worth noting, as I said, right, briefly, that there's so much bullish news out there, right? For example, Ethereum to lead a bull run to $2,000 in coming weeks. Can ETH make ground against Bitcoin? No. Geez, it's one of these. People are literally going to be following this stuff, and it's going to be really, really dangerous for many. So revolutionizing fintech industry, massive bull run for ETH, no. And so I don't want to just keep saying like, no, this isn't a thing, but we should also reflect on the fact that we are not there. This is not the sentiment that we are seeing. If I come over into TradingView again, we jump into Ethereum. I mean, I do this a lot, but here you can kind of see this massive move to the downside. We've recently kind of diverted away a little bit, yes, and that's positive, but it doesn't mean that we can't come on down lower. Let me make this a little bit bigger and just show you on the Ethereum side of things here. I'm going to bring this into the hourly, just because this is where we have all these recent movements to the downside, and we also have this really good run at the moment. Okay, so this is positive, right? We can't ignore that this is good news. This is good news right here. 5 waves up is really, really good, right? But it doesn't mean that we're in a bull run, not yet. This is potentially the start of a trend, but could also equally be just a zigzag corrective structure. Now, let me talk you through the issues that we have here. The issues coming in on these larger time frames. So you can see here the daily is overbought. Okay, so we have some smaller movements to happen on the smaller time frames. Those are good. Like I said on many of the videos recently, we're short-term bullish, but long-term bearish. Okay, there's 7 macro movements that we cannot ignore. If I come over into the weekly time frame and just bring this up here a little bit, let me just zoom in and bring this back down. You can kind of see the structure here. Now, we don't want this 5th wave to come in for Ethereum. Okay, that would be super bearish. We don't want that. And as much as I hate on Ethereum, as in I wouldn't want to buy it, it's not my choice of coin. I don't want to see Ethereum struggle to the point where it drags things down more, right? We want to be concerned about that. My concern here on the weekly and the daily is the stochastic RSI. This is a momentum indicator for those who do not know. The momentum indicator is basically telling us that momentum is either, up or down, and we're either going really, really well to the upside, or we're going too slow to make progression, and we're potentially going to be pulling to the downside. Okay, so we want to be aware that this is not something that specifically relates to price action, but what it does show us is when there's going to be areas of typical reversal. So we can take a look at this peak up here, for example, and we can take a look at this peak up here. We can see that we have the peak happening up inside this wave 2, and we have this peak up here inside this wave 4. Okay, we started to correct down, but we deviated back up. Okay, this is an anomaly. This is not something that we want to be overly too confident on, because we're going to be right back up in this higher area again. Okay, and when we're up here, there's only one way to go, and that's going to be to the downside. So the question becomes, are we even going to be able to cross as high as $2,000 before we pull to the downside again? Okay, now it's positive in the regard that we've got 5 waves going up, and it might put an end to this 5th wave. It might mean that this 5th wave down here for Ethereum doesn't happen, and that would be good. But essentially, we can't ignore what the daily is telling us. Our daily chart is telling us that we're heavily overbought, and we need to correct down. Okay, now if we're lucky, we can do something like this, where we're up and overbought and we go to oversold and we rally up, right? That would be really positive. Alternatively, if I make this bigger, we can see something like this, where we're up in this higher range and we come down to the lower range like so. Okay, so just bear in mind that this is a daily chart, and this is not necessarily the best setup for us, right? And we want to be aware of a few things here. Now, we could look at this maybe as a cup and handle if we're lucky and we get a bit of a run to the upside on that. That's a possibility. You could potentially look at it maybe even as, if you really want to be bearish on it, an inverted head and shoulder pattern. That would then take you down. So there's lots of things to be thinking about here. Now, from Elliott Wave theory point of view, I'm looking at this as 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking for 3 to come down and then 5 more to go up, right? So I'm looking at this as potentially a cup and handle, which would basically be 535, a zigzag pattern taken up into the 1.618 area approximately. But essentially, I'm not looking at anything more than that. That could be $2,000, but I don't think this is a bull run. And so from a terminology point of view, I really want to be stressing to you guys that the data that is being kind of, or the articles and these headlines that are being shown to you here are really, really bullish. And they're talking about bull runs here and bull runs there, but that is simply isn't how this shit works. So we want to be aware that things are not as rosy as they may seem in these articles. So I really wanted to kind of cover just news. I didn't want to just go into charts too much, but there's a lot of things going on in the space. And I really wanted to make it clear that the data in the background outside of these articles are vastly different, right? We don't have these really good bull run setups, not yet. And those are what we're waiting for. But when we do have them, they will be fantastic. And there's definitely going to be some upside in the short term. And I do think there's going to be some fantastic gains to be made in those. But I do want to stress that it is something that we should be a little bit cautious of. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice, but all I can do is give you my thoughts and opinion on the data as I see it. And if you're looking for more, join us down in Discord where we talk this stuff 24/7. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.